All right, traders, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to use the drawings and charting functions within the Tickblaze platform. Now, drawings is particularly important because we're always marking up our charts and we're performing technical analysis to be able to make sense of the data for trading. Now, Tickblaze was built for very user accessible features within the draw tool functions. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set your toolbars, how to set your favorites, how to set your color settings, how to attach them to different charts, and essentially how to basically make use of all of the functions into the charting section. Now let's get into it. We're going to start by looking at the toolbar, and at the top you're going to see, hover over this little pencil icon, you'll see a drop down. Now this drop down will most likely have more in yours than it does in mine because I've removed some of the tools that I don't actually use. So I would encourage you to watch this video and then edit your toolbar to the favorites that you normally will trade with. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. The second thing you can notice is that there's different categories. You'll see there's a list up here, and then there's a divider line, and then there's a different category down here for fibs. We can set different categories in the favorites list so that you can keep all of your draw tools grouped together in certain areas. You can also accessibly get into the draw tools by doing a right click function, and then you can right click and you'll see that there's some menu options up here. You can stay in the draw mode. You can remove all the drawings from your charts. You can actually go into the actual directory of all the draw tools that are in the platform by going into the drop down list. And then ultimately you can see that inside the right click menu, there's a favorites list. You'll see there's a category for fibs here, which we've created, and you'll see these are all my favorites. Now we can go into the favorites and set them up, but before we do that, I want to show you some basic functions on how to set your color settings, and then we'll end the video with how to set all your favorites and how to create your toolbars. Okay, so let's get started. Now I'm going to do an example using a trend line for this example. I'm going to go down, I'm going to find the trend line, okay? And I'm just going to click on the trend line. I'm going to go and I'm going to draw the trend line, okay? Now you may not want it to be white. Maybe you wanted a dashed line, whatever charting colors you're using. Maybe you're using a black background, a gray background, a white background. Everybody uses different chart colors, so this is why it's really important for you to do this before you start trading every day. Set it all up once, and then that way it's done for you moving forward. Now I'm going to double click the actual drawing tool, and you're going to see that there's a settings window and there's a parameters window. We're going to start with the parameters, and every draw tool has different parameters, so make sure that you check whatever tool you're editing, and then that way you can set them up accordingly. Let's say I want to turn this into a yellow. Let's go down here and find yellow. Okay, there it is. And let's say I want to change it to yellow. And let's say I want to keep it as a yellow always. I'm going to come here and hit set as default. It's very important you do this once you have the configuration set to your liking. That way, when I come up here and I draw again for the trend line, right? Let's say I want to draw another trend line up here. I can see it as a yellow, okay? Now, if you want to see these draw tools, okay, on other charts, all you need to do is double click the draw tool, and then go down here, it says attach all, and then turn it to yes, okay? And there it is, you'll see it on the other time frame. Okay, you can do that. You can actually set that as a default as well, but not everybody wants their drawings to be on every single chart. Some people do, some people don't, so it really is just dependent on what you choose for your preference, okay? Now, we'll do one more. Let's say I wanna go into the rectangle and I wanna draw a level of support that hits this area, right? Well, maybe I don't want to use a yellow background around the border. Maybe I want to use a white, right? I want to keep everything a white color. And let's say I want to come in here and I want to maybe do this as a light red, right? Just like that, right? Let's see how that looks. You can see that. Maybe that's how you want to set your levels up, right? Maybe you want to make it thicker. You can do that as well. And there it is, right? Maybe you want to change to a dash, and you can do that. And maybe that's how you want to set your levels up. You can choose to do so. So you come in here, go to settings, you set as a default. Okay, hit okay. I'll come back up here. I'll draw it again. There's your resistance, and there you go. Now maybe I want to draw that resistance and I want to apply it to the other time frame. I can hit yes. And there it is, right? It's on the other chart. Now it's important to understand that when you're doing multi-time frame analysis and you're drawing on one chart to another, you're most likely going to be using different look backs. So if I'm drawing on a higher time frame, like a 240 minute or a 4 hour, if I draw on this chart, I may not be able to see it on the other time frame because let's say I'm only looking at, say, 5 days, right? And so if I draw this way down here like this, and I attach it all, okay, like that, And then I'm like, okay, well, where is it? Well, it's because I'm not able to see the data. So if I go back to 1 month of data and I look down here, there's the draw tool, right? So it's really important that if your drawings don't look the same, or if you're seeing something out of place, then make sure that you just increase the look back to be matching that of the other chart, or to at least match enough days to be able to see where that drawing is on the higher time frame, okay? So I think that's pretty much it for setting colors. What I'd like to do is I'd like to talk to you about favorites. And favorites are really what you see in the top toolbar or on the right-hand menu. And the way you set a favorite is if you don't have something in the favorites already, or if you want to remove them from the favorites, I can come in here, go to drawings, and click on favorites, okay? Now, favorites exist for draw tools and for indicators. So we're gonna do the indicators in a different video. For this example, we'll stick to drawings, and you're gonna notice that this is my favorites list, which is exactly what's in my top toolbar and on my right-click menu. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a new one into the favorites that is not currently in the list. So let's go here and let's go find a circle, right? Let's go find or an ellipse. Like, let's do an ellipse, okay? So I'm going to add the ellipse to the chart. Okay, I'm going to set the parameters. I'm going to turn it to a white for this example, and then I'm going to turn this as well to a white smoke. Okay, like that. Okay, and I'm gonna hit okay, and then hit okay, and I'm gonna draw it. Okay, so there it is. So I'm just gonna draw the circle. Okay, now first and foremost, I'm gonna set that as a default. I'm gonna change the thickness just a little bit, just so it's a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna set this to default. Okay, so that every time I draw a circle, it's there. But I don't have it in my menu item yet, and I don't have it in my right-click menu. So I don't want to leave this menu yet because I want to add it to my favorites. So down at the bottom left, you're going to see add to favorites. It's going to pull up the favorites window. This is where you get to create either a category or put it in the existing lists. Now you're going to notice that I have one category built already for Fibonacci. For this example, I'm not going to create a category. I'm just going to add it to the list, and I'm just going to call it ellipse. Okay, and we're gonna do this like that. Now, if I wanted to, I can add a hotkey. So I could come down here and I could put an Alt or a Control plus Shift, or I could do none if I don't want to use a hotkey. And I'm gonna use Control Shift, and I'm gonna use an E. Okay, I'm gonna hit apply, and there it is. I've just added it to my list. You can see that it's alphabetically ordered, so you can see it just went right under the arrow line there, and then I just click on the X and hit OK. Now you're gonna notice if I come up to the top toolbar, there it is. And it's also got my hotkey function. So if I click here and I want to draw again, there it is, right? And I can see it in my drop down. And if I wanna go into the right click menu, there it is. It's right under the arrow line, so there it is as well. So this is how you add favorites. Let's say you don't use the circle or you don't use something, you can easily just go into the favorites menu and just delete it, right? And you won't see it in your toolbar, or you won't see it in your right click menu, okay? Now, that's pretty much it for setting the colors, how to attach them to all charts, how to basically save a favorites for your drop tool menus and your right click function. The last thing that I normally like to help traders understand is when you need to do a clean installation for the platform. A lot of times support or QA will send you a message when we do a new update that you want to do a clean install. It takes a lot of time to have to go through and set up all your settings again and have to go through all your color functions. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically teach you how to, when you do your exports, which is a different video in and of itself, but specifically for draw tool functions, when you do an export and you export your resources, okay, when you go and you export your files for your desktops or your chart templates, you're going to notice that down at the bottom, there's these little sections here. It says include drawings and indicator favorites, include your chart bar type favorites, include your script templates, or include your platform settings. For this example, we would want to include the drawings and indicator favorites because when we do the export and we import the desktops or we import the workspaces, you'll also be exporting to the file your saved settings that we've just done for your draw tools. It's extremely important that you do this because if you do not check this and then you go to do an export of your desktop or let's say your chart templates, okay, and then you go and you export this function, and then you install a new build of Tickblaze and you do the import, all of your draw tool functions needs to be redone again. You need to save the colors, you need to save all the settings, and that can just take a lot of time, and nobody really wants to do that, right? Including myself. So this is just best practices to leverage the draw tool functions. I think it's highly customizable that you do this for all of your charts. Save your chart style, save your templates, save your draw tools. And if you have any questions on how to use drawings and charting, let us know. We'd be more than happy to jump on a call and help get you sorted. Take care, traders, and we'll see you in the next video.